So my name is Isabelle Tobolski. I'm a deployment strategist at Palantir Technologies. I lead our Warp Speed program here in Europe, and I'll pass it off to Joe.
Hi, I'm Joe Klecha, Chief Nuclear Officer with the Nuclear Company, a company that's focused on deployment of new nuclear generation facilities.
All right, so Palantir is a software company. We were founded in 2003, headquartered in Miami, but we have offices in New York and London, all over Europe and globally. And for the last 20 years or so, we've been developing our Foundry platform and have deployed that across over a dozen different industries, many different countries, really supporting the world's most critical outcomes. So from mining to nuclear to aerospace, defense manufacturing, oil and gas, energy, everything in between. Most things you can think of in the industrial space, we have supported and have our Foundry platform deployed doing so today. And the way that we work is quite different from most software companies. We really look for strong partners that we can identify a critical outcome to partner together for. So this is kind of in our bread and butter, in our DNA. So over 10 years ago, when we started our commercial business, we started partnering with companies like BP, companies like Airbus, and really identifying what is that critical problem we can start supporting. So for example, with Airbus, that was supporting the production of the A350 aircraft. Deploying our engineers alongside our Foundry platform to figure out how to ramp up production of this aircraft. And over the years, that partnership has expanded to their production operations, to supply chain, to quality, predictive maintenance, and has also expanded to onboard dozens of their suppliers and their customers onto our Skywise platform. All that being said, we look for these strong partners that we can partner with for the last 10 years, for the next 10 years and beyond. And with that, I want to introduce Joe to talk a little bit about our new partnership with the Nuclear Company to build NOS, which we started last year.
Thank you, Isabelle. So the Nuclear Company's mission, as I briefly described, is really to deploy nuclear generation facilities in a more efficient, streamlined way. Part of that is obviously great partnerships with companies like Palantir. We believe technology is the key to really unlock our ability to deliver nuclear generation facilities at fleet scale approach. Quick story I'll share. So I landed in Frankfurt, Germany yesterday and got to drive up here to Hanover. I was lucky enough to be able to stop in a small town along the way. In this town, there's a small factory or facility where what I was told, the first steam piston ever made was developed in this facility. Now that steam piston was only 5 watts, but it was the start of a revolution, the industrial revolution related to steam engines. That then became 50 watts, that then became 500 watts, and the transition of that very technology is what we use today to transfer the energy from steam at a nuclear facility or other steam type facility into the electricity that comes through our steam turbine generators that produce electricity now that powers the world, powers cities. The point of all of that is saying this relationship with Palantir, we believe, is that next step in iteration to really allow us to unlock efficiencies, higher levels of safety, higher levels of quality, to really give our workforces, our craftspeople, craftmen, craftwomen, the ability to do their jobs much more efficiently. It allows us to tie into early engineering design, through supply chain and procurement, and into construction and operations of these facilities. We see this as the key that's going to unlock the future and be able to take that technology that started 100 years ago and really take us to the next level. As you can see, recent nuclear deployment projects in both North America and Europe have not really met the expectations that we expect. Very low numbers in both Europe and North America being currently constructed. A lot of that is a supply-demand thing. Of course, with things changing related to technology and reindustrialization, we're seeing a huge need for more electrons on our grid. Clean, firm, sustainable, reliable electrons. And we believe nuclear is the path forward to do that. We also believe a diversified approach is appropriate, so there are other technologies that should come along, not just nuclear. We just happen to be the Nuclear Company. The Nuclear Company believes in a design once, build many. So how do you really iterate on the production of many facilities. You do the same design many times, you learn from that design, you utilize technology to capture those lessons learned, and you continue to get better and better, go from first of a kind, early of a kind deployment, and really drive that down to what we call nth of a kind, as good as we can get, as efficient. And we continue to do that over and over again. We see around the world in other countries where this vertically integrated, nth of a kind, design once, build many approach works very well. That's exactly what we're trying to do in North America and Europe. You can see there are some commitments currently in both North America and Europe. We need to ensure those are delivered successfully. There are challenges. I mentioned some of these. In both of both the North American projects and the European projects that I mentioned, we've seen major cost overruns and major delays to schedule. Some of this can be tied back to that first of a kind, the first time you design something, the first time you build something, but that's not all. There are many lessons learned around contracting structure, many lessons learned around how do you partner with all the right teammates to really align and drive around the same incentive structure, so at the end of the day, we're all working to the same goal line. The lack of digital tools used in nuclear projects and mega projects over the last 20 years has been a significant impediment. These technologies have come along, they just not have been adopted. One of the mega nuclear projects that I've worked on, we were actually still building on paper work orders. So binders filled with paper are the tools that we gave craft workers to build the facility. Not only hard to work with, hard to maintain, hard to keep up with revisions, hard to track readiness from a supply chain and engineering perspective. These digital tools that we're developing with Palantir, that we call Nuclear OS, the nuclear operating system, allow all of these pieces of infrastructure to be tied together in one digital system where data can be used, data can be analyzed, AI can be used as a partner, as a tool. We don't like to say AI is running anything related to nuclear, but it is a great tool. Just as once upon a time we went from using paper and calculators to spreadsheets, now we can use AI as that tool to 10x what we have currently been capable of doing. And then part of the problem is a shortage of skilled craft labor. Again, we believe technology is something that's going to make that craft labor more efficient. The craft men, craft women that show up on our projects want to come to work and accomplish great things. These tools really unlock that door for them to be as efficient, as safe, with the best quality as they possibly can. So the strategic value out of our partnership with Palantir and the Nuclear OS system really allows us to be able to reuse knowledge. So from one job, from one work front to the next work front, we quickly capture lessons learned, feed those into the systems, and they can be applied to a work package or work product that's being developed to be used tomorrow or next week or on the next project. So easy transferability of knowledge retention and knowledge transfer. The digital nervous system, as I briefly managed, tying all of these pieces of software together. We're in a legacy project. We relied heavily on paper, and we also relied heavily on standardized suites of tools that then had to be customized, configured, to be just right for the exact project that we were taking on. With Palantir, we can make that custom for everybody, custom for all of our projects, and really drive the standardization of our mega projects as we move forward. And again, it's a living platform, so it's continuously evolving. With every learning, it's smarter. With every project, it's better. More lessons learned continue to feed in, more ties to supply chain. As design changes are done, they're updated real time in the field, which then allows us to work with state and federal and national regulators to ensure that they're getting all the data they need for the proper reviews and the proper confidence we need in the public. Again, the strategic value here, we expect this to be a major driving force. When I look at the things that slow down mega projects broadly, the lack of technology can help these projects on magnitudes of 30 to 80% over a given timeline. Of course, there are other bottlenecks. There are other areas that we continue to work on, such as supply chain, getting the supply chain as vertical as we possibly can with the right ties and right incentives to our supply chain partners, as well as workforce. And again, we believe these tools are not only going to help the workforce perform their jobs, but also help with workforce development in areas like training and recruiting and building the workforce of the future. These tools, our use of AI, our use of AR, VR, are very helpful for us to train the craft workers that need to go do the jobs, both up front and then as they're getting prepared to go into the field to actually perform a function. Technology can help them with the proper pre-job brief so their readiness is top scale.
All right, so what does this solution actually look like? So underpinning NOS, everything is built on top of Palantir Foundry and AIP, on top of AWS, really a critical piece of the foundation there, given a lot of what we're doing here has to be in real time or near real time. It's compute heavy as well, so that's the critical foundation of this solution. Another kind of critical piece underlaying this is the Foundry ontology. So really what that is a unique data model, unique to every customer we work with, after integrating all of your data and really defining your business in terms of nouns and verbs. And that allows us to then quickly build each of these kind of building blocks and solutions and workflows on top of the platform. And with NOS, we're approaching this challenge as really a multifaceted solution, which we have to with these really complex, large, multi-year projects with many different constituents, many different vendors, many different partners working together. Of course, one of those partners being governments as well, right? This is a highly regulated industry. And so we have to include these components such as, project planning and project management, really tying together these complex project timelines, breaking down the tasks into what is actually critical path, what can be done in parallel to prevent kind of time and cost overruns and delays. The regulatory compliance piece, a lot of unsexy sort of things like even documents and project plans and tickets that need to be approved and go through very strict governance and control processes. So doing this in a platform that's tied to the ontology on top of Palantir. Everything is connected, clicking into one thing that maybe is delayed or one thing that not everyone should have access to seeing, but really having those right controls in the platform in order to limit the scope of who is exposed to critical information. Also, safety and quality, so things like critical safety issues. Everything needs to be recorded, documented whenever anything comes up. On the production floor, on the construction site, and documenting what happened, what is the resolution, and tying that together into kind of this feedback loop that feeds into the beginning of the process and prevents that sort of issue from happening again, tying that into the regulatory process as well to document any instance of what has happened in the platform. We also have a security piece here. So these are critical, national critical infrastructure, right? So needing to monitor who actually has access to these sites, real-time threat detection, and giving operators and both our partners and the nuclear company visibility into any issues that may be coming in real time and the ability to quickly respond to those. And then as Joe mentioned as well, there's this question of skilled labor and workforce training. So building out solutions as well here that kind of using the latest and greatest with AR, with VR, tying into work coming down the pipeline that we have in Foundry as well to upskill this critical labor force. And we'll show you here a quick vignette of our work together. So really focusing on this project management, workforce scheduling issue. So here we have a lot of tasks laid out on a schedule. We can click in and we can see this task broken down into what are the individual steps and instructions that a worker will need to do. What is actually critical path, what can be done in parallel, and looking at how this feeds into the entire project plan as a whole. And we can see that some of these tasks are actually past due, and we have an algorithm here that we can click and have it quickly rescheduled to be on what the workers need to next focus on and assign that to a worker with capacity. Here we can click over and actually see the worker and technician view. They can see all of the tasks that are assigned to them, what those tasks actually require them to do, and then use our AIP assistant, our AI agent, to actually describe this is the exact step-by-step process you need to follow in order to execute on this piece of work. So very quick vignette here, only a tiny, tiny piece of what we're building together in NOS, but highlights this power of the ontology and how all of these different pieces of information tied together help us put together the whole entire picture and react to issues quickly when something does come up or go wrong. So with that, I think we can, I don't know if we have time for questions.